or might not actually cushion. That's coming from Yemi Kale. And he was responding to FG beginning 40% pay rise for workers, April ending. And that's referring to the issue of fuel subsidy. The front page of the Punch on Tuesday has that clearly stated, and you could see that. And FG secures $800 million World Bank facility for fuel subsidy removal palliatives, and see how we are trying to throw money at issues. So the question you will ask is, what is the way out? What should the government do? If government should increase the workers' salary by 40% to cushion inflation due to a proposed subsidy removal, what will happen to other workers from private sector? How many business owners can afford to increase salary by 40%, considering all will be affected by this? Okay. In fact, before the pay rise is anticipated, even before it will be implemented, the CPI is already high. The pay rise will push it more off the roof, to the extent that many will not feel the positive impact of that pay rise. So consumer price index is something that is going off the cheesy, as they say. Now, it's not going to cushion this effect if we have spent that $16 billion to provide electricity. For Nigerians, dependency on fuel will have been cut in half, according to some people. And a meaningful infrastructure is the only one cushion that will mitigate subsidy removal. And so, what do you also think about this matter in clear terms? Now, some people have said, instead of conditional cash transfer, government should invest in mass transit buses to ease transportation problems and sell crude to Dangote at a reduced price, so you could refine on our soil and sell to us. Will that also help? The federal government also ought to have a reduced recurrent expenditure, 40% of total budget, as this will help in reducing inflation. That's also another way out by some people. So what do you also think? Now, but the question is, how do we get out of this? And it looks like a no-win situation, actually. It's like a Mexican standoff now. If the FG does nothing, the decline will continue inexorably. I feel what the FG quickly should achieve in terms of market and job creation with a safe subsidy is what matters now. Now, the issue is, would they save from this subsidy removal? We've been here before, and they call it deja vu. Now, does principles of economy work in our country? How do we implement policies in such a way that we don't even benefit from such policies? Why are these policies not solving our problems? Practically, to feed some people pocket and breed new fat cows, that's what some people have called it. Now, what we're going to do with this removal of subsidy is to feed some people, and then they will become richer even than their states. Okay, so that's one issue. Now, the issue that I want to take a look at is the issue of our debt, again, even on this matter. Nigeria's total public debt is estimated to hit 77 trillion naira by May this year. That's in another 2 months. Oh, next month. May is next month, yes. Sorry, May next month. Yeah, this is April. So by next month, our estimated debt profile will be hitting 77 trillion naira. Now, concerns have been raised about the nation's rising debt and its sustainability in the midst of declining revenue. Now, to check the mounting debt, the federal government has also narrowed its borrowing to the domestic capital market to finance the 8.8 trillion naira debt component of the 10.78 trillion naira deficit in the 2023 budget. Now, but this has its downside, as the country is very close to exceeding the international borrowing threshold. So, what are we going to do? Are we moving towards a situation where we are in a debt trap? If, for instance, our debt is growing and it's exceeding the international borrowing threshold. Now, according to the Debt Management Office, Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio as of September 2022 was 35.2%. Currently, Nigeria's debt in relation to GDP is 38.5%. 2.56%, the highest debt-to-income ratio a borrower can have and be qualified for a loan is 43%. We are now at 38.56%. That's about 39%. So we have less than, give and take, less than 4% to go to hit the red line. Ideally, lenders prefer a debt-to-income ratio lower than 36%, with no more than 28% of that debt going into debt servicing. But do you recall that we have hit around 96% debt servicing of our revenue? So you make 100 naira, you use 96 naira to service debt. To service the debt, okay. That it is cheering that the DMO has assured that the federal government will not exceed the legally approved new borrowing limit in the 2023 Appropriation Act. Only recently, two global rating agencies, Moody's and Fitch, as well as the International Monetary Fund, IMF, have cautioned the federal government that resorting to ways and means poses serious risks to Nigeria's macroeconomic stability. We all know the issue around the ways and means. In January 2023, Moody's downgraded Nigeria's sovereign rating to CAA1 from B3, with the federal government expressing surprise at the development, but noted that the government has started taking actions to resolve issues raised by Moody's. On its part, Fitch advised the Central Bank of Nigeria that financing government's budget through ways and means advances tripled government's indebtedness since 2015, describing it as a heavy burden on the nation's debt stock. It said that such financial instrument has far-reaching implications on inflation, unemployment, and poverty, and we all are living witnesses of this one. Now, I'll take a very short break. When I return, I'll let you into what Oniha, the DG Debt Management Office, has said about our borrowing, its sustainability, and what we need to do. A still economic searchlight. Don't go away.
Ìfẹ́ mi, ẹni lọ́jọ́ ìfúnni lábẹ́rẹ́ wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, pẹ̀lú abẹ́rẹ́ aládàágún fún ìdáàbòbò ara ẹni yìí, a lè ṣeré ìfẹ́ fóṣù mẹ́ta láìsí fòyòyún àìròtẹ́lẹ̀.
Bí báwo?
Máa fa ẹran itan mi, máa sì gàbẹ́rẹ́ yìí sórí itan tí mo fà. Ká lè máa gbádùn ara wa lọ fóṣù mẹ́ta nìyẹn.
Abẹ́rẹ́ kẹ̀, ṣé èèyàn wà nídùn ẹ̀?
Kò séwu ìfẹ́ mi, abẹ́rẹ́ tíntínní ni bí eléyìí.
Àkíkà, ó ti gún kódà ó mìíràn rárá.
Ṣé bí mo sọ fún ẹ?
Bó o bá fẹ́ lábẹ́rẹ́ aládàágún fúngbà àkọ́kọ́ lọ́dọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ ìlera fúngbà ní níyànjú. Fàlàyé nípa àwọn ọ̀nà mìíràn láti bọ́ lọ́wọ́ oyún àìròtẹ́lẹ̀. Tẹ 2 lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lórí Airtel. Kó o dẹ̀ tẹ 30 tàbí kó o lọ sórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára discoveryourpower.org. Ìpolówó yìí wá látọwọ́ àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó ń bójútó ìlera ẹbí, Society for Family Health, pẹ̀lú iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó ń bójútó ètò ìlera.
They care about my mental health. Fitness and healthcare. Good nutrition, healthy living means a lot to them. That's why I chill with peace of mind. No worries anytime. Cause when I look back, I know AXA Mansard's got my back. Yeah. So what are you waiting for? Sign up and join the squad.
Enjoy more wellness for less with AXA Mansard individual, family, or corporate health plans. Visit www.axamansard.com or call 0700 AXA Mansard to get started now.
More wellness for less, so yeah. Who get your must, yeah. AXA Mansard. Mama, papa, brother, sister, who get your must,
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye. Máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún, yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Maale for villa. Just use Momo. You want buy recharge card or data plus jollificate 15% bonus when you recharge? Just use Momo. You want pay for market where you buy? Just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash. As long as you get Momo account, no cash, no wahala. And it dey easy to open oh. Just dial *671# to open Momo account. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account inside your Momo account to make you fit dey pay for anything. Send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo. You go jollificate 15% bonus anytime you recharge with Momo.
eléyìí fún Yakubu, èyí fún Rasaki, fún Ahmed, fún Aisha, fún Khadija, fún.
Brahimo, ṣé o tún ti tó oúnjẹ ni? Kí ni gbogbo oúnjẹ yìí wà fún?
Wò ó Taofik, mo ti pinnu láti wọ inú oṣù Ramadan yìí lọ́nà ọ̀tun nípa pípín oúnjẹ sínú Peak yogurt drink pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi aláàwẹ̀.
Èrò tó dáa nìyẹn. Ìtọrẹ àánú dára gan-an ni.
Òdodo ọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ gba ìtura lákọ̀tun nínú Ramadan yìí pẹ̀lú Peak yogurt drink tó ní àkọ̀tun wàrà màlúù nínú.
Peak. Reach for your peak. Who are you and why do you think you should be the next Nigerian idol?
I'm 21 years of age, I'm a singer, and I have big dreams, and I'm ready for the big stage and bright lights.
Let's hear you.
You had me at my first glance, staring at you, staring at you, staring at you.
The music show of the year is back for its 8th season. Catch all the thrilling moments showing every Sunday from the 23rd of April at 7 p.m. on Africa Magic Showcase, Urban and Family. Stay connected to DSTV and GoTV. Nigerian Idol is proudly sponsored by Biggie and Techno.
As the sun sets, time for a delicious iftar served with 5 Alive Poppy, a tasty treat that'll fill your family with life during this month of Ramadan. So pulp it and create unforgettable moments to enjoy with your loved ones. And at Sahud, 5 Alive will fill you with zest to keep you going through the day. Ramadan Mubarak, 5 Alive filled with life.
This is what goodness tastes like. Golden caramel, creamy buttermint, and rich coffee. There's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Introducing Cadbury Caramel Candy, Cadbury Coffee, and your favorite Cadbury Buttermint candies. Now there's lots more to share and enjoy.
Oh yeah, there's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Èyíkéyìí ọkọ̀ tó bá ń wà. Ó nílò ààbò tó péye. Máa dágunlá jẹ́ kó jẹ́ mobile. Níbikíbi tó bá wà ló mú ojúlówó. Ó yá sọ pé. Jẹ́ kó jẹ́ mobile. Mobile ní ìṣúlẹ̀ ọjọ́. Jẹ́ kó jẹ́ mobile.
Lọ pẹ̀lú ojúlówó. Mobile.
Welcome back. It's still Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. Economic Satellite is a program. Undoubtedly, rising national debt and low revenue generation have attendant higher risk profile and cost of international debt issuances. For instance, between January and February this year, data from the DMO showed that the federal government borrowed 2.13 trillion naira through bond issuance, retail savings, and treasury bills. It affirms that at the current rate of borrowing, the government runs the risk of exceeding its projected domestic borrowing of 7.04 trillion naira for 2023 financial year. In January alone, the federal government raised 662.617 billion naira through the bond auction and 277.468 billion naira via what they call the treasury bills, and 533 million naira through debt issuances, and it introduced in 2017. In February 2023, government raised another 770.56 billion through bond auction, 417 billion on treasury bill, and 1.271 billion through savings bond. The unheeded warnings by experts appear to be haunting the economy. But the GMO points out that the domestic issuance program is designed not only to provide funds to finance the budget deficit, but also to refinance government's maturing obligations during the current fiscal year. Now, the DMO office has been speaking about our debt profile and what we need to do. Now, Patience Onia is a DG DMO, and here she was speaking about the imperative of borrowing and how sustainable our borrowing could be.
Very much. I think that's a good place to start. Countries borrow, so Nigeria is not the only country that borrows. The very advanced countries, including Germany, the US, the UK, all of these countries borrow. Okay, so borrowing is an accepted form to fund government activities. Okay, but we shouldn't end the story there. Borrowing should not be the only source or the major source of funding government activities, so there should be revenues, which is why the discussions around debt must naturally include revenues. One, because when you generate sufficient revenues, it reduces how much you need to borrow, but it also reduces your debt service to revenue ratio. Like we said, the government borrows, but the debt stock is a combination of several items, so maybe we want to look at the basics. Nigeria's debt stock, the 46.25 trillion naira you mentioned, it includes the debt of the 36 state governments and the Federal Capital Territory. Everything, external and domestic. It's also right to say that the federal government is, responsible for most of that, about 84 to 85% on the average is FGN. So all of that is coming from these various sources. And then what are the triggers? Why is the debt stock growing? Because when the debt stock is growing, debt service also grows. Okay, the debt stock is growing because Nigeria has been running a budget deficit for many years, for decades, not years. In good and bad times with oil prices, we have borrowed. We've been running budget deficits, and those deficits are funded largely, 85 to 95% from borrowing. So that is cumulative, and these are publicly available data. So that is cumulative. As we borrow each year, it adds up. So the annual budget deficits are a major component. So if you look at this year's budget size is 21 trillion, borrowing is 10 trillion. We don't need to explain where that is coming from. So that's one angle. The other aspect where it is coming from also, we've contracted several loans in the past from multilaterals, meaning World Bank, African Development Bank, and bilaterals, Germany, India, China. And disbursements are going on because they are tied to milestone. Disbursements are going on, so that add up to it. The third part, which we must not forget, and I've been trying to emphasize, is government has been issuing promissory notes to settle obligations for which it doesn't really have the revenue or cash, if I may put it simply. So that's why the debt stock has been growing. It's a combination of all of that, and these are done very transparently. As you know, borrowing is very, very regulated. So, we go to Federal Executive Council, we go to the National Assembly, and I think at each of those stages, the Nigerian public, have a role to play. They can speak, they can advise. So that's where all of that is coming from. But let us then explain what does the DMO do? Yes. So based on best practice with debt management, we do a debt sustainability analysis every year. As the word says, it is to tell you, is this my debt sustainable? So borrowing is not bad. Debt stock is not bad. What is important, I think two things: use the borrowing well to stimulate growth, to create jobs, and then revenues will come, but also generate revenues. Okay, so that is not, so we do that debt sustainability, put in all those parameters, including exchange rate, interest rates, is a forecast over about 10 years to say, what does the debt stock look like? Is it sustainable in the short, in the medium, and in the long term? Okay, these are best practice World Bank templates that we use. That's one of it. So we advise the government based on our projections, and we don't do it alone. We work with stakeholders like the central bank, the Budget Office, the Bureau of Statistics, so that we can get all the data and, brainstorm. I think over the past years, firstly, let me say in that report, you will see that we tell the government over this next year, this is the maximum we should borrow. Included there as well is we've always said that debt is sustainable, but it's very sensitive to revenue levels. Okay, and advice is given to that effect. This is where we should stop. Okay, so there must be a strategy around how we raise those funds to make the debt sustainable. So we see that there is X amount to be borrowed. You can't just decide, okay, let me take what is available and wherever it's available from. You have to have a strategy around how you should do it to make your debt sustainable. So second tool we use is the medium-term debt management strategy. So we always have one. Again, these are best practice World Bank tools, which are extremely useful. It's a 4-year plan that says this is how we will borrow, raise the funds provided in the budget or for projects. And the idea is you want to minimize risk and costs. So yes, you have to raise this amount, but how should you do it to keep your costs or debt service low and to minimize your risk? That's the overall objective of that document. So again, that is a publicly available document, but I can give you what we're doing in that strategy to make that sustainable. So the first thing is that you diversify your sources of funding. Obviously, if you are dependent on just one source, you could have in life, you will have a problem. So we have several sources of borrowing. External, there's international markets, there are the multilaterals, there are the bilaterals, meaning country to country. Okay, now we're looking very closely at export credit agency financing because those are project tied. But in the domestic market, the DMO has done well significantly in developing the market. It has worked for our benefit and worked for corporates as well. So, but what do we do? You would see that we have various products ranging from 90 days to 30-year tenors. The idea is that somebody who has money to invest can find something that fits them there. So we have Nigerian Treasury bills, which are short. We have the federal government of Nigeria bonds, which are all the way to 30 years. And then we have introduced a product for retail investors, the FGN savings bond. We talked about it at an event recently. And then very importantly, we have the Sukuk to attract non-conventional investors, if I may put it that way, as well as the green bonds. So while all of those are innovative, they're actually helping us to increase the sources from which we can raise revenues rather than what it was more than 10 years ago where the banks were our primary sources of funding. Okay, so we spread out the maturity. So we have different tenors. So when people talk about the debt, all of it is not maturing in one day. Are you with me? They're spread out over many years in the domestic and in the external markets. And then there are various products. Then every year we support that strategy with the debt sustainability analysis. So while it is true that debt service to revenue is high, it is not that the DMO within what is in its power, the strategy and the debt sustainability analysis, we're not doing anything. We are, but revenue remains the key.
Okay, that was Patience Oniha speaking, the DGDMO. She talked about our external and domestic debt. He emphasized why the debt stock is growing exponentially. She said we have consistently been running budget deficit for decades, and so debt became cumulative. And she answered a very important question: what does the DMO do? And she talked about how they are simply just advising government on what to do in terms of its borrowings and how to get a sustainable, borrowing plans and how they can service this in such a way that it will make sense. I mean, that's what we will talk about here. Now, let's look at the resolution for us on the program. The DMO observed that while it is maximizing the opportunity provided by investors' strong demand to raise funds to facilitate early implementation of the 2023 budget, it will be guided by the law and will not exceed the legally recommended borrowing limit set in Appropriation Act, according to DMO. Now, let us say this clearly. The government must keep its promise on borrowing limit. It's important, let's say, that the next administration should look at limiting our borrowing. It should not saddle the incoming administration with the unsustainable debt. And the World Bank and IMF had last year noted that the inability of the Nigerian government to check its borrowings would increase poverty in the country by at least 5 million annually and worsen the inflation rate, which is currently at 21.9%. The federal government debt burden comes amid further concerns that at least 28 state governors have piled up about 5.8 trillion naira debt for incoming government in their states. The DMO says that the state's debts have risen above 200% of their projected revenues for 2023. The debt figures based on the analysis of the DMO consist of domestic borrowings from local creditors and external borrowings from international lenders such as the World Bank, IMF, and Africa Development Bank. Don't also forget we are borrowing $800 million for palliative against fuel subsidy removal. Instead of resorting to unbridled borrowing, the federal government should explore all other options available to it and work with experts to develop a sustainable plan to manage its finances and reduce our utter dependence on borrowing. Let it focus on implementing economic reforms and diversifying government revenue source. Let's also avoid impoverishing future generations through mindless borrowings. Relying so much on borrowing will increase real interest rates and also decrease private investment in the economy. And the long run will be running a deficit economy, which will result into pushing more people into poverty. That's our offering this morning. I'll just take a slight break and go for Africa Check. Don't go away.
Tóyọ̀, ǹjẹ́ o ti gbọ́?
Pé kí ni o bá dérò?
Pé ṣé ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ ti gbọ̀nà ọ̀nà àrà yọ?
Jọ̀ọ́ mi sí kí n rí gbọ́.
Jẹ́ ń já ẹ tán. Àǹfààní àìlẹ́gbẹ́ ni Splash FM Media Academy gbé kalẹ̀ fún gbogbo olùgbé ìlú Ìbàdàn àti agbègbè rẹ̀. Ìlò tí ìgbọ́ láti di akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ oníròyìn tó perégedé ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú ìlànà ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ òde òní yálà lórí rédíò tàbí ayélujára. Àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ olùkọ́ni tí wọ́n mọ̀ ti fún tẹ̀dọ̀ iṣẹ́ ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ wà níkàlẹ̀ láti tọ́ ọ sọ́nà tí ó tọ́ lórí onírúurú ẹ̀kọ́ bíi program development, journalism, digital media, production, news presentations. Wo mélòó ni mo fẹ́ kà? OPG ó pọ̀ gan-an.
Mo rí ọ̀nà.
Tóyọ̀, ibo ló ń sáré lọ?
Àròjọ́ Mùsùlùkùn mo ń lọ ṣe ìforúkọsílẹ̀ tèmi nìyẹn.
Tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀, lọ sí Splash FM Media Academy tí ó fẹ́ gbẹ́kẹ̀gbẹ́ pẹ̀lú Splash 105.5 FM ilé funfun báláwú fẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn láti gba fọ́ọ̀mù tirẹ̀ tàbí kí o pe ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 07054393332. Splash FM Media Academy, ìdáàbòbò ìwà ọmọlúàbí nínú ètò ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́.
thank you for being there with us. This is still Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. As I said, that we'll be going into the issue around Africa Check right now. And so Catherine is with me on the line. Hello, Catherine.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Happy Salah.
Yeah, I wish you the same.
I'm sure you are on holiday, so let's do this holiday together on the phone.
Okay.
All right, so we're looking at the report published on 17th of April 2023 that talked about, no, standing up while peeing won't lead to kidney damage. I mean, I found this ridiculous, but take me through this riddle.
Okay, thank you very much. We had this same sent to us by one of our subscribers on WhatsApp to say, please check the information for us to be sure it is correct. And of course, we did go on other social media platforms like Facebook, and we also found out that this particular claim has been doing rounds on Facebook, and it's saying that one of the causes of kidney damage is to stand while urinating. And we took a closer look at this claim to say, is this claim correct? And does standing up while urinating damage the kidneys? In fact, note that particular claim made reference to men in particular. Now, we know that the kidney is part of the urinary system, and of course, not just the kidney, we have the ureters, bladder, and the urethra. And the kidney is responsible for filtering waste and removing excess water in form of urine through the ureters. And now, we took a step forward to say, let's talk to an expert to ask, does standing while peeing have any relationship with kidney damage? And we spoke to a professor of nephrology at the Faculty of Medicine, University of Jos. And he told us that standing while peeing has nothing to do with kidney damage. It does not damage the kidney in any way. So we also took a step further to check, okay, what are the things that can help you keep your kidneys healthy? According to the U.S. Center of Disease Control, they recommend that it is good that you maintain a healthy blood pressure and cholesterol levels, also increasing your fruit and vegetable intake, and of course, eating low salt food, and staying physically active and taking your medications as prescribed. And these measures can help your kidneys stay healthy. So the long and short of this report is that standing while peeing, be it for male or female, has no effect.
And this was done by Catherine Adeniyi.
Yes.
Tell me, really, how did you rate this particular report, your verdict?
Okay, we rated this report as false because he has no basis. Scientifically and biologically, he had no basis. There's no relationship between you standing while peeing and your kidney being damaged. There are other things that could result in damaging of the kidneys, and those are the things that are the opposite of what I read out. Means a healthy kidney. So it means that if your blood pressure is over the charts, or your cholesterol levels are high, or you take a lot of
salty foods,
and then you're not physically active, and you abuse medications, you don't take your medications as prescribed. These are some of the things that damage your kidney, not standing.
Okay. Where could this kind of story have emanated from? I mean, where did you get this kind of a story from?
Now, we over the years, we discovered that so many, because internet is free and accessible to everybody, so people just search, and sometimes these social media platforms are fitness forums where you don't necessarily have to, put up your pictures or anything for people to identify you. People can hide under pseudonyms, different kinds of usernames to claim that they are who they are not. especially people who want to, they feel they can make money off other people by prescribing certain things to them that they can use for certain conditions, or just want to say something online. You want to be important online. You want a lot of followers online. So these are some of the reasons why some of them do this. And when someone comes online, especially when they talk about how you can, stay healthy, everybody wants to stay healthy. They don't want anything to be wrong with them, or family members or friends. So they just, consume any information they see relating to health without even taking a step further to say, let me check. Is this correct? Is this person in the position to give me this kind of health advice? So these are some of the reasons.
So thank you so much. Any opportunities from Africa Check as we close?
Okay, Africa Check is available on WhatsApp. Like I said earlier, it's this report that was sent to us by one of our subscribers on WhatsApp. So we encourage people across the country, if you have found any information that you do not know if it's true or not, or you cannot verify it yourself, you can send it to us on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 090-8377-7789. I'll take the number again, 090-8377-7789. You can send us claims on WhatsApp. We'll check and we'll send you a report once we have published it. You can also visit our website. We have a lot that we have written, not just about this, about health in general, education, politics, economy, name it. We have it on our website. So you can look up our report website, africacheck.org, and you can visit our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at AfricaCheck_NG. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Catherine Adeniyi, for your time on the program today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, that's it on Africa Check. I'll take a short break and return on my cover for this week.
Splash FM 105.5.
Spread your wings on Splash 105.5 FM.
Well, thank you for being there with us. There's still Economic Searchlight, and this time is a sponsored segment where we look at insurance issue. And Temitope is on the line with me. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Shion, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
All right, that's great to know. So let's hit on the issue. This time, we're looking at the issue around insurance. So why are you here with us today?
I'm here today because I would like the people of Ibadan to know what insurance can do for them across different policies: health insurance, travel insurance, car insurance, and also gadget insurance. What it can do for them, because insurance is always a smart money move. If you are looking to save money or invest your money, then you definitely need to insure all the things that matter to you.
Okay, so let's get through it. How important is insurance really? Just general perspective about insurance.
Insurance is very important because if you are looking to protect yourself from unexpected risks or loss or emergencies, then you definitely need to insure all the things that matter to you and all the things that you love. Take for instance, if you just bought a new car, it's brand new, what we popularly call Tieroba, right? And you're so excited. And you drive in a city like Ibadan, and all the blessed, notorious maker people who are only focused on picking passengers. And then one of them just, scratches your car or breaks your side mirror. I'm sure, your mood for the entire day is spoiled, right? And you have to go and, probably look for money to repair your car or fix your side mirror or go to a panel beater to fix your car. That's money you didn't plan on spending. You see, so but if you have if you have a car insurance, you can simply just take pictures of the damage and send to your insurer, send an invoice for repairs, and have your car fixed, and you're back on the road again.
Okay.
So the thing about insurance is that it helps you. It gives you a cushioning effect against unexpected risk and losses.
Okay, now I'd like us to look at your brand. What stands My Cover out? My Cover Genius. What stands you out from the other insurance companies or brands that we have today?
There are many things that stand us out. However, I'm going to spotlight a few. One is that we are digital. As you all know, yes, we're in the 21st century. We're in the fourth industrial revolution. We're in the digital age. So yes, we are very digital. You don't need to even come to our office. You don't need to see us physically. If you want to come to our office, that's also fine. But you can just go onto our website, www.mycovergenius.com, and get a policy in 5 minutes. You see, we don't request for any unending paperwork. It's simple and easy. Just go online, go on our website, select the policy you want to buy, and you are good to go. So that's the first thing, we are digital. The second thing is, like I mentioned earlier, is that we are paperless. We are not asking for your great-grandmother's middle name or your uncle's first name or whatever. It's just simple, because we realize that a lot of people today have other things doing. People have short attention span. We want to make it as simple and as quick as possible. The third thing is that we are very customer-centric, which means that, for a lot of people that are familiar with insurance, there are a lot of terms and conditions, a lot of this and that, but we'll always put our customers first and topmost ahead of everything. And we'll ensure that you get value for what you buy. It's not just that, you've paid money and, when you now need to claim on that policy, we'll not turn our backs to you. What you see is what you get.
Okay, let's start with these three. I'm sure that people can find out more. Yeah, My Cover Genius is digital, it's paperless, it's customer-centric, and you do not do things that will hurt your customers. Now, what are the types of insurance products that you offer? Let's list them out quickly.
Okay. First, we have the health insurance.
Yeah.
Secondly, we have auto insurance or car insurance. We also have travel insurance. If you're looking to travel abroad for a quick trip for 2 weeks, for a month, and you are traveling abroad, you need to get a travel insurance. Because you agree with me that anyone who falls ill abroad, or you mistakenly call 911 or more, that's a lot of money you're about to spend. Right. So, and then the other policy we have is gadget insurance. A lot of people are using what we call big phones that must not touch the ground. If they touch the ground, it's gone. Right. So, So, all our policies are poised to protect the average Nigerian, to ensure that your money stays where it needs to go, not on repairs or emergencies or losses and everything. If you see people going to work in the morning and someone bashes their car, it's an entire movie playing now. People are shouting, screaming, why? But if you don't have an insurance policy, just exchange cards and move on with your day, right? So any person is looking to save themselves from stress and just live a very chilled life, you need to get an insurance policy.
I like this. I like the sound of that, actually. So I know who needs an insurance. If you want to have a rest-free life, a stress-free life, actually, you need an insurance. But let's look at the kind of problems that people face with insurance, like difficult claim processing in case of an accident and not being able to receive home care in hospital. How has My Cover Genius been able to curb these roadblocks with insurance in an average Nigerian's day-to-day activities?
Okay, one of the things we've done is to provide omni-channel support, because we also know that one of the challenges that people face when they have claims is they don't even know how to reach out to the insurance company. Do I go to their office? Do I call them? Do I send an email? If I send an email, will they respond to me? If I call them, will the number go through? We've created an omni-channel support, which is you can reach us via call, you can reach us via WhatsApp, you can reach us via email, you can even reach us via web chat. Do you see? So we've created different channels for which you can reach out to us. That's the first thing. The second thing is that while you are buying your policy, we already let you know what you're going to get and what to expect. For instance, if you buy a third-party policy, we'll let you know that a third party does not cover your car. I usually say that third party is like loving your neighbor more than yourself. You buy a third party policy, it doesn't cover your car, but it covers another person's car. So if you buy a third party policy and someone bashes your car, you can't come and say, oh, I have a claim, and you people must treat it. Because we already told you from the beginning that if you buy a third party policy, you're literally saying, I want to protect the other car on the road, not my own car. So we already tell you what to expect from the beginning so that all expectations are managed. The second thing is to tell you, oh, these are the conditions around your policy. While you are buying, these are the things to expect. Your policy does not cover this, your policy covers this. Just making everything plain from the beginning. The next thing is that when you have a claim, we'll let you know all the documents that you need. There are no hidden anything. We don't surprise and say, oh, okay, so you're going to bring your grandmother's toenail. We don't do that. We let you know all that you need from the very beginning. We let you know all that you need from the very beginning. And then when it's time to get it, we don't ghost you. We pay you. As soon as you send us your settlement offer, your discharge voucher, we pay you your money, and you can move on to doing other things with your time.
Okay.
So, we ensure that we deliver value and we keep to our word.
Okay. I like the fact that you say you don't ghost your customer. I like that word.
Yes.
It's good. How can people purchase insurance from you? That's very important to me right now. How can we go about purchasing insurance from you?
Okay, so everyone listening, I want to assume that a lot of people, at least you have a phone that can, browse on the internet. And if you don't have a phone, that's also fine. For people that, can get online, you can reach us at www.mycovergenius.com, right? You can get online on our website and look at the different policies that may interest you. And even if you want to buy a policy, and I've not mentioned it today, there are some policies that, I may not want to go into details because they're not everyday, they're not retail policies like goods in transit, group life insurance, all those policies that are not retail. We can also get that for you. I also need to mention that if you want a bespoke insurance policy that is not on the shelf, that is not regular, we've had to create bespoke policies for some of our partners, and just creating something that is specific for that business. You understand what I'm saying? So you can get on our website www.mycovergenius.com. You can also reach us via WhatsApp. 090-7000-8899.
Call that like gently.
Okay, Sion, thank you so much. 090-7000-8899.
090-7000-8899. Okay, better. That's better for me. I got that clearly. So let's look at business insurance. Why is it important for businesses to be insured?
It's very important because any business that is in Nigeria currently, they're already going through a lot, and that's the gospel truth. You have to deal with power supply, you have to deal with taxes, you have to deal with people, staff that are unstable, staff that are jackpying. There's already a lot you are going through. What's it called? Unforeseen circumstances or unforeseen risks. To it, why do you want to add that to your list of things that you are dealing with in Nigeria? Why? So if you're a business owner, let's say you are like an SME, you have 5 staff or you have 10 staff. I will start with health insurance. You don't have a health insurance plan, and then a staff calls in and say, I'm sick. That's one less person on your team. Or a staff says, oh, I need to take a loan, I need to do a surgery. You have to, maybe as humanitarian as possible, you have to give that loan. Why not just put your staff on a health insurance plan? Put them on a health insurance plan, and they're covered for and we've made it easy for businesses. You don't have to pay for an entire year when you are getting on our plan. You can pay monthly. We're not even stipulating that you have to have 20 staff before you can get on our plan. We've gone ahead to say what are the blockers around people getting businesses getting insurance policies. Most insurance policies say, oh, you have to be 20, you have to be 10, you have to be, even if you have 1 staff, like if you and your secretary or whatever, you can still buy a policy with us. So we've looked at all the roadblocks around getting policies. Some people say you have to pay for a year, you have to have a certain number of staff, So we've made all of that easy and possible for you. In fact, when as a business, if you buy a policy with us, you have a business dashboard. That means that you can have all your insurance policies in one place.
In one space.
You have health insurance for your staff, you have auto insurance for your official cars, you have travel insurance when you're traveling abroad, everything in one place. Because we are so visionary at Mycover Genius, and we want to be the go-to insurance company for businesses. So any business that is
to take up the headache for them.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to thank you for being on the program today. You want to drop the numbers again? Tell us what number to call again.
090 7,088.99.
All right, that's
7,088.99.
For my cover genius, I've been able to speak with Temitope Ojomuyide, Head of Operations, My Cover Genius Limited. Thank you for being on the program today.
Thank you, Sean. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Great. Have a wonderful holiday.
You too, Sean.
Enjoy. Right. So that's it on the program today, and we appreciate everyone who's been part of the conversation. Have a wonderful holiday. May Nigeria survive.
Spread your wings and splash. 105.5 FM.
We've got the city on lockdown.
Got my own city that I hold down.
We are Splash 105.5.
اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا.
kí a lè ṣe ìpalẹ̀mọ́ dáadáa fún alikiyama ni ó fa ìdásílẹ̀ Al-Haira Foundation tí ó fi kalẹ̀ sílùú Ìbàdàn.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ẹ̀yin ará mi, ẹ kú òǹgbẹ o. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí ẹ̀mí wa rẹ́yìn oṣù. Ànábì Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam a máa ṣe àlékún ìbáadà fún Ọlọ́run lọ́sàn-án àti lóru ní àwọn ọjọ́ mẹ́wàá tí ó bá ti ń gbẹ̀yìn oṣù Ramadan. Kódà yìí máa lọ ṣe itikaf ní mọ́ṣáláṣí. Èyí jẹ́ ohun pàtàkì kan tí